What did you say time was that I had? 10 minutes? Hopefully?
Yeah, it's like 10:44.
It's like add an extra 2 minutes. Like
10:42.
Yeah.
Once I stepped on a fly, that was like my biggest achievement in life.
Because it's
Did you say you just stepped on a fly?
No, but once I did.
Ah!
Alright.
When you guys practice again,
BCH.
get your timing, but also when you do your talk for real, remember, all of us are different and we all have different habits. Some of us talk faster when we're doing it for real. Some people talk slower and add things in and do stuff. So you need to learn who you are as a person and then re-gauge your talk as... I've had some people that I've seen practice talks and they're like 12 minutes, 12 minutes, 12 minutes, 12 minutes, and then they give the real talk and they start doing a little, oh, and there is this other thing and this slide, and you're like, you are like, right? So they start going off script a little bit
Yeah.
when they do that. Or some people just speed up. It's not, neither of them are bad, you just need to recognize who
Yeah,
you are.
I've recognized who I am, but I just can't fix it, so practice.
It's practice, and that's exactly right.
It's there.
Okay. Next we have Katie Tomasi. Tomasi. Should we talk
Oh, I didn't do my first name on there.
the interspecific interaction habitat preferences of harbor and gray seals on Duck Island ledges mean?
Thanks, Kyla. So it's kind of sad when we're talking about kind of like the population numbers and interspecific interaction habitat preference out here in the Gulf of Maine. So kind of why should we care about habitat preference and interspecific interaction between these two types of seals? Kind of the two things that drive certain seals to haul out on specific ledges is kind of aggressive interactions between one another and habitat preferences. So gray seals are known to be much more aggressive than harbor seals. They tend to have these onshore aggressive interactions between one another, and that often signifies these dominant hierarchies. Usually these aggressive interactions happen more between just gray seals, but there has been evidence documented that there are aggressive interactions between both the harbor seals and gray seals. So both these seals have certain habitat preferences that they like to haul out on, which means that they go from the water to rocks. Harbor seals prefer large landing areas such as sandbars, or large flat rocks that are accessible at both low tide and high tides. And then you have gray seals that prefer rocky ledges that are usually only accessible at low tides. So why should we care about that and population numbers? So another thing that kind of does haul out patterns is population numbers. So before 1972, seals were hunted and killed for bounties or cash prizes. Governments would give out these bounties to hunters to go out and kill specific types of seals, mainly harbor seals and gray seals. Harbor seals tend to be more skittish, so they tend to flush more easily, which means that they go from the rocks to the water. And gray seals aren't as skittish as harbor seals. So since gray seals aren't as skittish, the gray seals experience a much more significant population decline than the harbor seals. So gray seals were thought to be extirpated in this area in 1958, which means that people thought they were extinct, that they didn't exist in this area. And it wasn't until 1995 when Valerie Rowe published her paper about population of gray seal numbers in this area, saying that there still were gray seals in this area, but they're just in very, very small numbers. And she believes, but they are starting to slowly increase, and she believes the recovery is the immigration of gray seals coming down from Canada and because of conservations. So in 1972, the Marine Mammal Protection Act went into effect, saying that it is illegal to hunt and kill these types of seals. So since then, both the harbor seals and gray seals have been increasing in numbers. The gray seals are increasing at a much faster rate than harbor seals at about a 7% per year, and harbor seals are increasing at about a 2% per year. So this kind of shows the average counts of both harbor seals and gray seals on Duck Island over the past 7 years, which is how long this project has been into effect. The year 2014 was not included in this due to the lack of surveys conducted during that year. So gray seals are in the pink, we have harbor seals in the blue, and as you can see, gray seals are increasing over the years, and harbor seals are kind of fluctuating over the years. So since gray seals have been increasing every year, oh yeah, I just said that, sorry about that. So I'm working on it. This is going to be a map of Duck Island, and I'm going to color code all the ledges. There's going to be one color where it's going to say the accessibility of if it's only accessible to the seals at low tides, and then the other color is going to represent if it's accessible at both high tides and low tides. Yeah. And then, so we would expect gray seals to only be on one certain color, which are the ledges that are only accessible at low tides, and then harbor seals on the other color, which would be accessible at both high and low tides. So with the first couple surveys, we've noticed that there are a lot of gray seals that like to haul out in big groups on ledges, and then we have harbor seals that like to haul out in lots of big groups. And then you kind of see a little bit of both, where you can see that harbor seals are up on the top and you have gray seals on the bottom. So keeping everything in mind, the increasing population numbers of both of these seals, habitat preferences, and aggressive interactions, it kind of has led me to my question: how does the increasing gray seal numbers affect harbor seal hollow patterns on the Duck Island ledges? So to do all this, this is the map of the shoals. The red star means that you are there, and we go out over to Duck Island and do our surveys over there. The red arrows represent our survey route. We go around all of the ledges, making sure that we take pictures of rocks, even though the seals are not there for negative data. And so one person is taking pictures with the camera, and the other person is kind of writing down the ledges that we are taking pictures of and the images that correspond to those ledges, and to see if any seal is flush or if there's any boats present. So I made a graph, I made a metric, it's called K for KD. It is the amount of gray seals minus the amount of harbor seals per ledge. So anything that's positive is more grays on the ledge. Anything that is negative means that there are more harbor seals on that ledge. And each color on the graph corresponds to the ledges. So this is for 2012. I only used 5 years of data: 2012, 2013, 2015, 2016, and 2017. So I didn't use years 2011 and 2014. 2014, there wasn't enough surveys due. In 2011, they just included the total number of counts. They didn't have the total counts of seals per each ledge. So this is 2013, and as you can see, the blue is kind of going more towards gray seal than the harbor seal. And then you have 2015, the blue is still slowly increasing. Both blues are starting to slowly increase over the years. 2016, there's a big jump in the blue. So more gray seals are starting to haul out on that area, and there's less harbor seals hauling out on that area. And then there is this year, where you can see there is a big increase on red and orange, which are the southwest ledges. So there are a lot more gray seals hauling out on those ledges, which are accessible only at low tides. And there are a lot of harbor seals that are hauling out on Duck Island, which is the big island over there. So kind of a take home from all of this: gray seal hauls have been increasing on every ledge since the project began in 2011. Gray seal presence impacts the position of harbor seal haulouts. And then there are more grays that are hauling out on the southwest ledges, and harbor seals are starting to haul out on the north side of Duck. And this is where I'm going to talk about if aggressive interactions happen in different species other than just like harbor seals and gray seals. Did that make sense there?
In the beginning.
In the beginning? Okay, I'll put that there. And then just a special thanks to all of our mentors, Dr. Bogomoni, Dr. Lisiak, Dr. Seti, and a special thank you to partner in crime, Ian Breslow, for putting up with me all summer and for all of his help, because I wouldn't have been able to do that. Questions?